If you're a heat and air conditioning technician and you're setting leads, what's one of the worst things that you could say to your appointments, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC technicians, sales secrets, on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you. All right, there's going to be a point where you are a tech, believe it or not, HVAC tech secrets, and your role and responsibility is to set leads and to set appointments where appropriate, right? Don't make anything up. And you're going to meet with Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, and there are a lot of things that you could say. But by far, this is the absolute worst thing that you could do. Hey, Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, you know, it really helps for me to have somebody come out and set this appointment, and I get points for it, and I'm judged on it. I have to have somebody come out. And here's the thing. You don't have to have a conversation with them. You can just let them get to the door and tell them to go away. Oh, I worked with a guy that was in my pod. So at one company that I worked with, I had like 7 technicians that were underneath me, and they fed the appropriate leads to me. And there was this one guy that was throwing off all of my numbers. Every time that I went to an appointment, I would get to the door, knock on the door. Hey, I'm Scott with 123 Company. And the person would go, yeah, you know what? We've really thought about this. You know, just just give us a price. We've already talked to the technician. What's the ballpark? And I was like, these other 6 technicians, this is not happening. These other people that are on my pod, that are on my team, I'm not having a problem with them. Why does this guy keep setting my leads this way? So I go to the manager at the time and I go, hey, manager, heads up. I'm having a problem with said technician. And this manager goes, yeah, too bad. Too bad. Find a way to close that deal. The only thing that I've got is an Excel file, and the only thing I can put in there is a number. And this manager, just so you know, I don't like them. Even till this day, I don't like them. Right? Bad person. And so here's what would happen. I would go to the call, I would have this conversation, and it took a while to figure out how to get through the door and the right conversation to have. But before we get to that, you should go to this URL, HVAC Tech Secrets. Go type it into our browser, hvactechsecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, or discounted training. So how you deal with this matters. How you go to the door matters. Let's say that you do meet with Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones, right? You're going to have to talk or sell your position into the door. Hey, I would love to give you that information. There's a couple things that I need to know about you. And they're probably going to go, you know, give me a ballpark. You're going to have to address, give me a ballpark. Well, if you're a technician and you're doing this, you're actually putting a lot of pressure on your company and putting somebody into the marketplace and putting them onto the market to buy a piece of equipment from your competition, right? Because here's what's going to happen is they're going to get on the phone, they're going to go to the internet, and they're going to say, send a sales guy or send a sales chick out to the home. And you know what they're going to do for that person? They're going to allow for them to give a freaking presentation. They're going to allow for them to go through all the information. So if that person gets 3 bids, fine, whatever. Okay, I don't care. But if this is me, and if I'm a salesperson, and I know that going to the door, I'm not going to be let in, but 2 other people are, like that's incredible Hulk flip tables over feeling. That's like, that was a bad thing to do. So the company paid for that marketed lead. That company had that person on a plan, and tech goes out there and totally just says, yeah, you don't have to do anything. Don't worry about it. Just have that person get to the door and it counts towards me. Now, typically the tech that's going to do this is a middle of the pack guy or a lower end guy or somebody who's really struggling. And, you know, what they're trying to do is pump their numbers so that they're not in trouble anymore. Like this guy, just if you're a manager and you're watching this, you're like, how do I know which one of my technicians is going to do this? It's somebody who's really struggling. It's somebody who is scared of the sales process. It's somebody who's not meeting their KPIs or their metrics. And you're having conversations with them. And so like there's a correlation. If you're watching and you're like, okay, dude's setting leads and 0 of them are selling, that guy is saying anything and everything to get somebody to the door so that a sales presentation to be given so that you're pulling off their back and you're not saying, hey, where are the leads? Just be aware that it is one of the hardest leads to get through because you as a technician set the wrong expectation. You got one of three things to do from here. Just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.